Hey guys, got a quick little video for you today going over some of the patch notes and changes as of August 19th. We're going to go over everything that happened, all the changes that are going on, future changes. Next week we'll probably do another video on this stuff if you guys like this. So just let me know down in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I hope you guys enjoy. So, dear guild hunters, thank you for the support. First off, we got new additions and optimizations. Added a refresh mechanic for the scavenger squad after completing a task. Required materials across all modes will refresh. Okay, that's cool, I guess. Added a brief period of invulnerability when entering a Mist Lord's room. What does that mean? That's the boss room? Why would you need invulnerability when you enter the boss room? Is this for, like, countering bosses, I guess? Or is that the mini bosses? So you can gank? So you get invulnerability when you walk in the room? They were probably AFK and they're ganking? Yeah, okay, that's interesting. Optimize select text, okay. Controller optimization, that's nice. Controller functions. Server performance optimizations, here we go. Let's see what this was about. We have set up dedicated server frame rate monitoring, which helped us discover that actions like refreshing chimes and treasure chests can sometimes trigger excessive computation loads leading to performance hiccups. Helped us discover that actions like refreshing chimes and treasure chests. Okay. These specific issues will be systematically resolved in upcoming updates. So they didn't actually improve it, they just identified it, right? That's what they're saying here. So we didn't get any server updates. That's going to be next week, I'm guessing. This is just that they've identified some of the issues and they're going to be resolving them over time with future updates. Yeah, sounds like nothing happened with servers here, I think is the gist of it. This is just them letting us know that they're working on it and have found some of the issues, I believe. And then next up, we've got the class changes, Mercenary. I don't know much about Merc, so I'm not sure how much this affects things, but let's see here. Reduce the stagger duration inflicted on enemies by the perfect block state. So that's the parry Merc, right? That's when they get the perfect block. And they've reduced the stagger duration that it does to you. That sounds pretty good. Parry Merc was pretty strong. Increase the energy consumption of the perfect defense talent in solo mode only. Okay. I'm not sure what perfect defense does either, but probably a good change. Reduce the shield value provided by the block damage boost talent. Reduce the cooldown reduction effect that shockwave strike skill applies to other skills. Ooh. I think I was using shockwave strike the other day. I kind of liked that ability. That one might kind of suck. No one runs perfect defense? Okay, I was gonna say, it didn't sound too familiar. Reduce the shield value provided by block damage boost talent. I feel like that's something that mercs run, right? Is that like the shield they get whenever they do their right click, left click? I feel like that was pretty strong. One of their good talents, if that's what it is. Increase the cooldown of whirling cut. Okay. The dash portion of it. Wait. Increase the cooldown of whirling cut parentheses dash skill. So I'm guessing that's like the second portion of whirling cut, but what does it mean to increase the cooldown of that one specifically? So they have separate cooldowns to the multiple animations. Dash Merc build. Okay. Reduce the PvP damage of the stack slash skill. Reduce the hitbox size of the impalement skill. Slightly reduce the cooldown of Stonebreaker slash skill. Slightly reduce the cooldown of Shield Slam skill. Holy. Slightly reduce the cooldown of Whirling Cut block skill in trio mode only. Fix an issue where Merc's hammer cooldown reduction talent would fail after being revived from a down state. Okay, that sounds pretty good. I mean, it's a good thing they're fixing the bugs. Like, this sounds like a crazy annoying bug. Fixed an issue where the block damage boost talent would incorrectly remain active after swapping weapons. Well, that could have been insane. So he's just gonna spam skills now? Thank God they could impale you 6 feet away, really? Okay. So are these good changes? Fix an issue where Mercenary, Sword, and Shield cannot smoothly chain into the stack slash skill after using Impalement. So does this gut Merc, do we think? How's Merc looking in solos now? It doesn't look like they touched trios much, because, like, you know, most people are playing Hammer Merc anyways in trios, so it looks like it's mainly a solos nerf. Don't think it guts it at all. Just makes it harder to play. Merc's still strong. Okay, okay. Yeah, that's interesting, though. That's a lot of nerfs for Merc. This whole list is basically a nerf. I don't think any of these were a buff. All of these were just fixes. Well, I guess these are a buff, right? Slightly reduce the cooldown, slightly reduce the cooldown, slightly reduce the cooldown. The other ones are kind of rough. Could go either way. I think they're trying to slow patch instead of just gutting the hell out of classes. Reduce cooldowns is kind of insane. Yeah. That sounds kind of nuts. Alright, let's look at Withered Knight. Withered Knight was a big one. I think a lot of people were saying they might be pretty strong now. Let's see what they did for WK. They slightly increased the movement distance and attack speed of the first light strike with a greatsword. That's pretty good. So now their light attack gets more ground covered with their GS. About an hour ago, I saw the #1 WK in leggy armor get beat by a blue Merc. That's crazy. Slightly increase the movement distance of the opportunistic thrust skill. Is this a pretty big skill on WK? Slightly increase the movement distance. So it looks like they're going to be even stickier now, which is kind of crazy because I feel like WK was really sticky to begin with. Slightly increase the pursuit skill as well. Slightly increase the movement distance when dodging forward with the sprinting slash. Added super armor during the attack animation when a heavy strike is fully charged and released. Okay. So, added super armor during the attack animation when a heavy strike is fully charged and released. Does that apply to only greatsword? Or is that also like the PNS shield charge thing? And does it last the whole charging animation? GS only? Okay, okay. Only on release. Okay, okay. That's not too bad. That sounds interesting. Super armor is definitely very strong in this game, so additional super armor is going to help out a good bit. Reduce the cooldown of the parry skill. Okay, that's nice. I know WKs love parry. That sounds like a good change for you. All of this sounds kind of crazy too. All these movement distance. That's like, they were already such a sticky class. Now you're just going to be even more sticky. Reduce the cooldown of breakthrough charge skill. Okay, that's not bad. That's your big, like, cut. Increase the projectile speed of the sword wave from Withering Mark skill. Additionally, hitting an enemy now applies a slow effect and reduces their dodge distance. That's the big slash one that they, like, throw at you, right? This is a talent already? Oh, just infinite parry. You're talking about the parry. Okay, okay. This one sounds pretty nuts too, though. This is that big slash that they throw at you. They now get reduced dodge distance on that and a slow effect on top of it. Like, how are you ever getting away from a WK in solos anymore? Yeah, that sounds kind of insane. Battle Mage, Battle Buster is here. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Welcome, Battle. Okay, so WK is cooking a little. The Joint Pierce talent now reduces the dodge distance of enemies that are hit. So they have two things that reduce dodge distance now. I'm not sure what this is on, if this is PNS or GS. I don't know a ton about WK, so we're kind of blindly reading this. Slightly reduce the energy consumption and cooldown of Radiant Retribution skill. Now you just never get away. Oh, this is the talent on the pull? Wait, that's crazy. So you pull them in, they're slowed and dodge distance reduced. You do your like left click, right click combo, and then you hit them with a wave, and then they're reduced and slowed again. Oh my gosh. It's slowed movement before, not dodge distance. Wow. That sounds crazy. A lot more WK, yeah, especially in solos. This sounds pretty good for solos. I think WK was already looking kind of scary in the solos. Now it's going to be kind of really scary, I feel like, for the good WKs. Slightly reduce the energy consumption and cooldown of Radiant Retribution skill. Alright. Let's see what they did to old Shadow Strix. So we got a bunch of Merc nerfs, a bunch of WK buffs on Great Sword side. And then over here on Shadow Strix, we got added a wind-up animation to the free movement talent. What is free movement? Talent? Free movement. Is that the teleport talent? It is. Oh, so that's the extra cast or whatever on the teleport. They added an animation. They added what? Added a wind-up animation to teleport back. Okay. I mean, I guess. Fixed an issue where triggering the lightweight talent via dodge would fail to grant iframes. So now, lightweight is what you used to be hop. This is the talent that lets you kind of like dodge out of your attacks and stuff. Now you weren't getting iframes on that before, and now you are. So you're like, that's kind of a big buff. Not having iframe and then getting iframe. Talent via dodge would fail to grant invincibility frames. Yeah, that sounds pretty good. Fix the super armor performance of teleport. I'm pretty sure all they did for that was like add the visual that you're yellow now. Fixed an issue where the interrupt action for Blade Dance would fail to trigger properly under Circuit Mecha, so just another weird issue with your Blade Dance. Fixed an issue where aerial heavy strikes could not change directions correctly. Can you air strafe with the jump right click? Is that what this is saying? I thought it just like sent you in a straight line. That sounds kind of cool. But basically nothing happened to Shadow Strix here. This is just fixes. This is not a balance change. Nothing was... The only thing that was changed was this. Like, you can't teleport back instantly. I mean, it's really more of a buff than a nerf, I feel like. Like, who cares about this unless you're, like, rat-roguing, juking people? This right here, though... Getting iframes, if lightweight was causing iframes to be bugged, you use lightweight talent, like, all the time in fights. And getting your iframes now on that, if that was a problem before, is going to save a lot of damage. Fix an issue where Sorcerer's Elemental Thunder Roar talent would fail. Okay. That's Ellie Sorc, and nobody plays that anyways, because they already gutted that class. Seer, fix an issue where two blasts fighting each other while under the effects of Ferocity talent Zeal State would fail to trigger Super Armor Clash properly. Wait, so... So before, if two Blasts pop Zeal and had super armor, they'd box each other, right? We'd be boxing, boxing, boxing. Is it saying now that when we hit each other, we're just going to infinitely clash? So, like, if you're two Blasts standing off and you have super armor, do you just clash perma now? Is that what's going on? That sounds terrible. That sounds so goofy. So you literally just have to, like, what, stare at each other? Bot Merc's crying. Gym affixes. Fix an issue where the effective unyielding effect would malfunction when its level was upgraded. Okay. So unyielding wasn't functioning properly. We got a good fix on that. That's nice. What else do we have going on here? Critical fixes. Fix an issue where smugglers would fail to spawn in the event. Okay, that's nice. So smugglers were supposed to be spawning in the event, and they weren't. So now you'll have your smuggler extract during the event on the map. Fix an issue where Gilden Ring damage calculations would function abnormally under circumstances. Not sure what that is. That's something to do with the zone. I guess the zone was either doing too much or too little. Fixed a visual issue where the Soul Gnawer's texture would go missing under certain scenarios. This is the new boss in the event, I believe. So I guess he was just bugging out. And then a giant list of issues. Let's see. Fix an issue where tasks, fix an issue where total value was incorrectly, would malfunction. Fix an issue where expand forge queuing would prompt even after upgrading the workshop to max level. Fix an issue. Okay, these are just a bunch of issue fixes. Nothing super important in here, it doesn't look like. Just like a bunch of little small bugs, quality of life stuff. Fix an issue where under equipping a pro would prevent you. Okay. And then he posts, we'll be performing a complete server maintenance next week. The reason Stardust wasn't fixed this time, we simply didn't have enough time. So it wasn't included in the update. We'll be making more balance adjustments this next week. The OCE server is scheduled to go live. If any issues arise, I'll keep you updated. So we get OCE servers next week. That's cool. That's good for all OCE players, and it sounds like we're going to have some more server fixes next week. They're doing a full server maintenance week, and Stardust should be fixed. Not sure if he means fixed or nerfed or what he's referring to by fixed, if it's because of the fact that it causes lag, or if they're adjusting the class. Devs must be Stardust players. True. And then down here, what do we got? We also released a second online update. We slightly increased the time limit before expanding the matchmaking range, slightly increasing the likelihood that players will be matched with others of similar gear. So does that confirm that there's gear-based matchmaking? Increase the time limit before expanding to slightly increase the likelihood that players will be matched with other players of similar gear. So there is GBMM? Because I was under the impression before there was no GBMM. That's why you have gear value. That's interesting. It's kind of surprising to me, though, because out of like 600 plus games that we've played, you know, we've been legendary for probably at least 500 of those games, and it does not feel like there's any GBMM at all. Just a wide scope. Okay. Yeah, very interesting, very interesting. Well, that's cool. These patch notes were something. Basically Merc nerfs, Withered buffs, and some fixes. I guess these are patch notes, balance or something. WK now is S tier on solos? Undetermined, but definitely looking better. Definitely looking better for the solos on the WK. Seems like they gave them a lot of love in this patch, and they absolutely nuked the Merc players. Maybe Merc's still fine, though, but there's a lot of buffs, or nerfs, rather. Well, that's interesting.